Daily, that must be outrageously expensive. Okay, so, yeah. Here's the thing. It's almost like I know how the county system works, right? So people were mad at me. Not mad at me, I don't know. People were critical of me posting bond. Now, of course, I wanted to post bond. My bond was $5,000. And as people have told me I'm so dumb for doing this. But again, they don't realize the timeline we're on or anything like that. The idea was that I knew I didn't want to have to pay. If you're charged by the state of Minnesota with a drug or alcohol related crime, you have to pay for any testing that's done. Okay? So I posted bond, knowing that I would have to pay for all of the fucking testing. Now, got rid of that. There's no testing because there's no conditions. However, in our family law case, with the kids and all that shit, they put restrictions on us and they did the testing. But when the county does the testing for family services, they have to pay because it's not criminal court and they don't, part of their reduced expectations, like it's a huge infringement into your life and your liberty. And you have an inherent right to parent your children. And the state is reaching in and stopping that and intervening there. Part of the exchange of that is they have to pay for the testing that they want to do. So to let you know how much it costs is every time you take a P test, it is $75. I know this because I have had to pay for several of them that we did voluntarily for various reasons at various points during these cases. Don't worry about it, but it's $75 a shot. If I would have had to be paying $75 a shot on every test coming up through here, I think I'm already past $5,000 based on how many tests I've done. And we're not even close. Like, if I win at Omnibus, it'll be done. And that's great. If I don't win at Omnibus, if we don't get our Franks hearing and we push towards going to trial, that's not going to be until December, January, maybe even February of next year. And those restrictions are going to stay, or would in theory stay in place. Now, obviously, I'm on unconditional bond, so eventually it's possible that I will not have a restriction. We'll see. But in the meanwhile, still on the old monitoring, which is great. But you can't, here's the thing. You can't afford it. No one can afford this shit. And it's brutal. It's really brutal on people who are indigent. It's really brutal on people who make middle class incomes. Because they don't have the resources to keep the fight going. To see the system applied towards people who don't have any resources to fight is awful. And that's every guy I was sitting next to in recovery. They don't know their basic rights. They don't know that when, it's interesting to see, but they don't know that when family services tells you to do something, you can say no. G-Men NC says, what are your bond conditions? I'm on an unconditional bond, but again, as part of our family law case, we have monitoring for sobriety. So that'll end eventually. I don't know the exact date, but on that date we'll be good. So